I noticed that none of you have committed to the America trip haircut yet.
What are you talking about? I got mine cut.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going with that one?
Yeah.
It's not as fadey as it's been lately. That's all. You've gone quite skin fadey recently.
That won't last 2 weeks in America.
No, I know. This is what I normally get.
Ebbers, when you booked in?
Tomorrow. You might as well leave it till the day before you go, because
You're doing it because we had a conversation.
I know. What?
Which now locks me into my commitment.
Oh, I like that.
Why? What are you doing?
I'm getting my haircut tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
what are
you'll be
planning?
both.
I'm going to take it all off.
What do you mean?
Buzz cut.
No, you're not.
No, you're
Yeah.
not. Don't do that.
No, you're not.
Mate, it's 40 degrees heat and I don't want to gel my hair. So I'm going to buzz cut it.
You're not. You're going to look like a giant melon.
But also,
Well, why not?
it doesn't stop you sweating. It
Tasty
just
melon.
means the sweat's more visible.
No, it's not. I don't have to. I hate greasy, sweaty hair. So I'm just going to cut it off.
You're going to have to use more suntan lotion.
Yeah. Oh.
You are... No, you're
Well,
not.
I was going to back out of it, but now it's on a podcast because he's brought it up. Means
Why do you think I started the conversation here?
Well played. Excellent. Oh, well,
You're
I'm
a
looking forward to
fool.
that.
But how many... Was it last year you had the long locks?
a couple years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah.
So it took
Yeah.
time flies.
I like it because you're willing to experiment. It's only hair.
I was going to
and
do the
it'll go
Eminem
back.
because he's back, isn't he? So
Who?
Eminem
Right.
Oh,
So
vetoed that.
yeah.
Wasn't allowed that.
No
Well,
peroxide.
If anyone's proof that hair grows back, it's me,
Yeah.
right?
Let's hope some of it on the side goes back because
Was-
your hair's in two parts there, mate.
soon, at some point. The thing is, when it does grow back, Baz, you are going to have to be wary that it's not going to grow back the same colour it is now. There might be less colour in it.
Yes, I'm
More
greying.
speckled.
I'm greying.
Yeah.
And I'm not dyeing my head black yet. Well, I didn't know we were starting there. That's annoying.
Love that.
I love the fact that by this time this actually comes out next week, we will be there, and it'll either have happened or not.
Yeah.
We could send a photo from the road.
Yeah. Put it on.
So it looks
Put it in
like
the
this. It looks like this. I've got to ask my barber for permission first. I'm thinking of buzz cut. He'll go, no, I don't advise it. I'll go, just go as short as you can, as you think would suit me.
All over.
Well, no, but I'll still have a fade, but with just like about that long.
With no fringe.
Number 8. But the fringe, like Foden fringe, just straight across the front.
Yeah, I'll get
Paint
it
it on.
painted on, yeah.
I like the way that actually you've kind of flipped that, because I feel like there is a responsibility for barbers. Have you seen those videos where like a kid goes in and asks for something and then the parent comes back and goes, I can't believe you did this to my child, kind of approach, whereas you're flipping it around, you're asking for your barber's permission to get what haircut you want.
He knows my head better than I do.
Great.
Certainly the back of it.
What?
Wow.
We probably can't see the back of your head. You've probably never seen the back of your head.
Oh, right, sorry.
Good.
Okay,
Wow.
thank you.
Clarification
Yeah.
is everything. Yep.
Just leave
You
a
made
bit-
that very weird very quickly.
What's he doing back there?
Short back and sides, I think.
That's why you leave the mullet on the back, isn't it?
No.
Grip.
Right, this is such a poor conversation to start with.
Do we have any good questions from the community? Some structure and format to this discussion.
So last time we did one of these podcasts, and it was just the four of us, I asked the community for their questions. Let's get as deep as we possibly can. And we found out that Mike was leaving. So, I think it went quite deep. So I've pulled a few more just to see who else wants to leave. And we'll see how we get on, shall we?
Hopefully not the audience.
I thought this was a really interesting one. Over the years, we've come up with a ton of ideas, a ton of video ideas, series ideas, all of these kind of things. What is one concept that we never thought was going to take off, but actually turned into something pretty good?
What, before filming or after filming it?
It could be either, couldn't it?
Pass it on, we've spoken about quite often, in that it was a concept and we did it and we filmed it, and then we had a row at the end of it, and then we thought we can't publish that, and then went, well, let's see how it comes together in the edit. And
Specifically, it was Ben and I arguing, saying we both you and I agreed. It was an idea that I was really excited by, and I was so annoyed when it didn't come off.
Yeah, because you were expecting, you thought of it and then thought of it in its successful form.
Yeah.
And the dish having come together and being brilliant, as in like, that's perfect. And it was the opposite to that.
I was so angry, if I'm honest, at you guys for not making it work. I'm sure I did all I could have done.
Your 25% of it was brilliant. I teed it up, and you both went off kilter.
Yeah, and you were so angry from a food point of view, going, "This is not what we should be represented as."
How does this add anything to the story?
And Mike was just guys.
I think this is going to be amazing to watch. So we put it together, watched it, and went, this is very different from anything like failing at food was something that we weren't doing so loud and proud at the time. Whereas actually, it was so entertaining, and it was so interesting, not just outside of all the food is a disaster, but outside of look at, as an audience perspective, I understand this person that I'm watching and the type of thing that they do and the type of personality that they are. And look at all the micro decisions that they're making, which has been influenced by the person who's come before and is going to influence the next person. And actually, that in itself is such a interesting thing to watch unfold. Unfortunately, I'd say 20% of the time the food is actually good at the end of it. But
that's because there's always...
I think we're getting better.
There's always learnings to be had from mistakes and steps of, like, in hindsight, we'd have done it a bit different, left, right, or changed it up or mixed it up. I think it's remarkable that after 60, 70 episodes, we still haven't learned how to do that. But
no, but it's like the washed up pass it ons that we did a few weeks ago. Oh, by the way, still available on demand. Just for this weekend only.
Always
now.
working.
Yeah, love that.
This is it.
We had two very different experiences, I felt. But after that weekend, we're like, actually, the pass it on success came down to a series of like 3 different things. And there was the theme, there was what was available to us on the ingredients table, and then there was the cooking order.
And the restrictions.
And the restrictions, yeah. And I was like, there are so many different elements that make up whether this is likely to be successful. And that's before you take into account how much of a dick any one of us is feeling on that day.
Well, and like you're dressed as a seagull.
The attitude that you sometimes walk into the kitchen with I've already made up my mind what I'm going to do, regardless of anything else that's already been done.
The format is quite literally pick up what's there and do something else to pass it on. That's not always the way we play it.
No, well, you sometimes walk into a kitchen, make a whole dish and go, they'll make something else, it'll be all right.
Yeah. I've set a style and a vibe that everyone else can join.
One of my favourite things about Pass It On is, like, beyond the stuff we do here, there are a handful of people out there who do their own Pass It Ons at home, who have videoed it and uploaded it, and they are hilarious to watch along to.
Yeah, I think until you've actually done one, you don't realise how difficult it is. And it is amazing that people are actually, hosting a Pass It On party.
Doing a dinner party where everyone gets 15 minutes in the kitchen.
It's great.
And serve up whatever's left at the end.
You have to eat it. Great.
End up with a takeaway. Yeah.
I can't really think of any other examples of things.
I think the other one that's evolved so much for me is pretentious ingredients. Because that began by me getting angry in the Selfridges food hall, looking at all of the things that were so ridiculous, overpriced, marketed badly, and were just, shimmering Prosecco vibes, and everything about it was just so unnecessary and pretentious. And we bought a few of them, did an episode knowing full well that the whole point of it was to slate these items, basically, which we don't normally do. We don't slate food. If it's not good, it doesn't make it into the studio or to the edit, because what's the point of wasting people's time?
The thing to get angry at is if it's there to manipulate people, if it's there to prey on the weak, almost, of people who have got money and just need to spend it on something.
I don't think they're weak. I think they're fine. Like, let them waste their money.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Let small artisan producers make the money.
Right, it's
changed so much, because now it's traditional, heritage, artisanal, rare, exclusive, collector's items. It's all of those things that make something our redefined pretentious now.
But Gadgets is along a similar line, because that first video that we did was just a complete Mickey take.
It was. We've got an extra hour at the end of our day. What can we film? Tell you what, let's pick up some of our gadgets and take the piss. 5 kitchen gadgets nobody needs. Is it still our most popular
It's one
video?
of them, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
That, and there's a fruit hacks one, which are nearly...
The fruit hacks was like putting a mango through a cooling rack.
Yeah, and cutting a hole in the top of a watermelon and then putting a food mixer into
But they were very info commercials, weren't they?
Yeah.
Tongues firmly in cheeks.
And then we started taking ourselves a bit more seriously. It was all downhill from that point.
Did we? When did that happen?
Well, now we're just shipping in items from the other side of the world to really showcase one thing that's been done to the nth degree, like a Rotimatic robot.
That thing is amazing.
I love that
and
thing.
the doser printer. Like they're the ones that, when I put myself in the shoes of an audience member watching, I imagine what a gadget's thumbnail and title is.
Yeah.
And those types of things. I want robots that are going to cook my food, and I want to watch videos on them. And the fact that they actually exist is amazing.
I want the future that was promised to us 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I've got one. What's your favourite flop? In the video you made that you loved, but it absolutely died.
Oh. Barry, there are so many.
No, we've done quite a few where there was such high hopes around it. Eye Candy is my favourite flop. I love them. They didn't go down. They didn't go down very well with the audience, but I loved making them and I love watching them.
I think they're just niche. And I think
really
all the
niche.
stuff that we've done, I don't think we've ever had flops. I think sometimes we've made them and they're almost so niche that there's a section of the audience who watch and absolutely love them. That's when you know, like it's really difficult, isn't it? Because you make these sort of out there ideas or something completely different from perhaps what sits on the channel, but in doing that you risk it not appealing to a wider audience, but on the contrary, actually they tend to engage even more deeply a very specific group of audience who say, oh, I loved watching you do this, it's amazing. Just might not be as sort of broadly I guess popular with the wider audience.
But I think they also have like a much longer, we call it a long tail, like they carry on getting views over time rather than having an initial big viral success overnight and then petering off. But like the music videos, the stuff that we look back on so fondly, the bits that we absolutely loved and then had to take down because of copyright reasons and then put them in washed up and still had to
take them down for copyright. We really tried for you guys. We really tried to get around that for you so you could see them.
But those videos at the time when we launched them, because they were so much effort, I mean, from you writing them and recording them first of all, and then like your bed and breakfast one, like how much effort
and
goes into it all, and we launched it and none of them performed well overnight. Like none of them were a big success. Over time they started to build and then we had to pull them because of copyright reasons, and we look back on them really fondly because it's almost,
they were just silly.
The memories
so
of making
silly,
them.
but also it's now unobtainable. We can't have them, and because we can't get them, and because the audience can't watch them, they've built up a bigger thing in my mind of they were really successful. They didn't perform views wise.
No.
It's really, really weird to think back on.
Yeah, my answer to your question, Babs, would be our Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Where I mean that was a 2-day shoot.
Yeah.
And
most of it with me with no trousers on.
Yeah.
and other people involved. So obviously
Yeah.
Jamie Oliver doing the narration, working with Mamrie and Grace in puppet
Rhett and
form,
Link.
Rhett and Link as ghosts. Like
it was probably a full
brilliant.
week's worth of production end to end, and it had proper scripts and shot lists and storyboarding, everything, and it was such a joy to make together, wasn't it? It was
we got
so
James
much
into an elf
fun.
costume. That was
Yeah,
It
and
was not happy.
again, released it and didn't perform particularly well in terms of what our expectations was but we put so much love into them. However, there is again a specific part of the audience who really, really enjoyed it and really loved it, and it's completely different to anything that we do. He's got no food in it for a start, really.
Yeah. The biggest balance with like what we see as a success is like, again, it's like we look at views and kind of how well they've, how much they've impacted an audience to see how much we view it as a success. But I think internally, I think you're right. It's the ones that we enjoy making the most. We haven't in a while had one of those moments where Mike comes to the office going, I slept well last night. And I had an idea.
It's been about 18 months actually. Is there any correlation with that?
thread,
Sorry, guys.
And it's more of a, and I just love the fact that in what we do, we can go, all right, do it.
But that's that
Why
almost
not?
like personal homage. I mean, I remember
miss
growing up, obviously Jamie Oliver was kind of like every year the cookbook, and he kind of broke the mold of what TV cookery was at the time. But before that, Keith Floyd broke the mold of what you did on TV when it comes to food. He would be cooking an ostrich steak in a field full of ostriches, and he would be cooking like a mackerel dish on the side of a fishing trip on the middle of a storm and on the boat, and it was that kind of madness. And therefore my biggest flop was all the things we did down on the south coast, because that was my attempt to do a homage to Keith Floyd, where we did an alpaca picnic
Yeah.
in a field of alpacas. We did we
Hello.
cooked eggs Benedict.
Hello.
Eggs Benedict. That was probably the only one that did work when we got drunk. We did eggs Benedict in a chicken coop.
Yeah.
We did courgette cupcakes in an allotment. And
Yep.
We just kind of did like stupid stuff that was just out and about, that was homage to the way that Keith Floyd broke the TV mold years before. And that was just growing up. It was an inspiration. I was like, we should do it, and we did. And they weren't very popular.
It sounds backwards, but I think we should aim for more flops.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I was going to say, actually, doing exactly that, because you have to try new things, and you have to sometimes just go with a silly idea, and you try and make it work, and it's great to fail on things like that, and the people,
As long as they add value somewhere, the value doesn't have to be millions of views.
That's the problem. Is I think we've probably been indoctrinated into thinking views equals success, and actually, if you've made something that
You're proud
you
of.
had an amazing time making, you're really proud of it, and there is, I mean, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of people, even in what we consider a flop on views, enjoying it and telling you that they've enjoyed it. What else really matters?
And that's where some of the charity ones have been great. So the Beat charity with Dame Emma Thompson doing a pass it on. Like, that was a mad day for us, but it didn't sort of go viral. It did the same as all the pass it ons do, and yet we've kind of presumed it might do more.
I think it's
better.
the expectations, isn't it? It's tempering your expectations and actually focusing on what really makes them successful, which is, did you have a great time doing it? Do you think that you're putting something of value into the world? And
Positive value.
As soon as it lands, just let it be and move on.
Yeah. So, because people have been, where we've launched podcasts, and it's a very different style
Nice segue.
No, but it's a very...
Speaking of things that no one really watches.
It's a very different style of content that's on the channel. And we've spoken about it before, but there's been some comments from people going, why don't you upload these? Why don't you upload these onto a... Sorry, I don't want to assume that they have
A moany tone to them.
No, but there are comments from people saying, why aren't we putting this on a second channel? And what was really interesting, because I went in, roll my sleeves up to reply, which I love to do, and there were already people that responded going, are you new here? Sorted has always put up a range of content.
Things that we're not interested in.
A plethora.
Get with
So
the
many different
program.
things. We've never become known for doing one thing in particular. And so this is our campaign to be floppier. We're going to be floppier.
More floppy.
in the
floppy
future.
in places
Boys.
that actually matter. And you think about all the conversations we have genuinely had in this fictional
So,
pub.
just
Great.
listen to that sentence. Sorry.
I know, I can't.
Mate, we're approaching our 40s. It's inevitable.
Get floppy.
Hashtag get floppy.
Get floppy.
Get floppy with
Get
Sorted.
floppier.
Get floppier.
More
Yeah.
floppy.
Yeah, more floppy.
Get more floppy.
More flops.
Can we stop it?
Have we got another question?
I'm not going to look at Baz when I ask this question, but
Excellent.
you
I am.
know that it's mainly aimed at him. What ideas have you had that you're really excited about that have been shot down by the other guys?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I mean, I know where you're looking at Barry, because it is literally his job to light fires, set hairs running.
Yeah, I have.
yeah,
and
and then
we
fires.
Fireman Ben comes along with his big hose.
Yeah, and my big hose, and I just
Floppy hose.
and we just make sure there's a little bit of a sanity check on some of them, but he's the master of starting things and
Walking away.
handing them over to an amazing team who helped to deliver them.
Yeah.
But we don't really do that, do we? I can't actually think of any examples where someone said, I think we should do this, and everyone's gone, that's terrible. That's a bad idea. Maybe.
If it's got that far, it's because you haven't handled it in the right way, right? You've got to have had one or two side conversations to get people on board, so that when you mention it in a bigger group, that's what we all do, right?
Like 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's
Sorted
like,
whip. Just going around making sure, right, you're going to vote for this, right? Yeah.
Last week when I voted for your idea,
Yeah, I think all the ideas that we start, they are collaborative ideas in that we have to.
They've already been thought through.
Yeah, I know.
Not necessarily.
So by the time they're pitched, they feel obvious.
Yeah. A thing that I would say about all four of us, we're pretty synced up with where we want to go, or in the destination that we'd like to go, and the types of things that we'd be liking to do. And what is good about those types of ideas are normally some form of another way of getting there. So in terms of, it's not taking us a million miles away from where we all want to take this, and we don't have, there's no end destination in mind, but there's things like the community, and it's like, well, we're a group of mates and we have fun, and we put this all together, have an amazing time and learn from it, and we hope that the community do the same. What other examples of ways in which we can increase the way that the community can come on that journey with us? Is it through making better videos, more useful videos for them, or more ways of them engaging within the videos? Is it doing live stream shows that they can literally tailor and make and steer alongside? Is it getting them into the studio to watch some of the videos being filmed? Like, all of those touch points, and all it takes is someone to come, so I was thinking about community, how about this? And then you go, well, yeah, we're all kind of shooting in the same direction, and that makes sense, so let's figure out a way of doing it. And
that is a luxury now, because that hasn't always been like, you're right, we're all working towards the same thing, but when we first started, we were all trying to work it out, and I think there were probably more clashes in the early days where, like, again, I think you and I probably fell out a few times where we're going, I want to do this new thing, and you go, well, that's a rubbish idea, why would you do that? And you go, because I want to.
We haven't done the old thing properly yet.
I know.
Something else sparkly and new, like a magpie.
And it was, but I think that's back then, we were all trying our best to work out what's next, and we didn't have a community behind us helping find the answers.
But also, back to your and my grey hairs, we have matured a lot as well, in the sense that we are still just a YouTube channel of mates messing around with food and cooking, but there is more thought behind it, and it's also a business in the sense that we have a mission statement, and we have values, and we have things that we share with the team that we all therefore know that when you bring an idea to the table, it's because you've already sparked up a relationship that might be external with a third party. It's kind of something that's already going to play into what we already all know and believe. So now there's fewer flops, but
we're getting floppier.
But we want to get floppier.
Not flappier. That's different. I did not sign off on flappier.
But I do think now we have more of an idea of where we're going, even if we don't know what that destination looks like.
No.
But we could build it.
Build what?
Right, destination.
You're instantly
minds.
yeah.
It's so weird how this is a conversation only the four of us can ever have. And there's loads of people watching it.
I know. I keep on forgetting that they're watching.
Because if you sat down in the pub with the rest of our mates trying to have this conversation, they'd look at us like we're absolutely off our trolleys.
Yeah,
absolute wallies. But also, I mean, it is also slightly bizarre to be sat here having this conversation, knowing that we have got many irons in the fire of exciting things that we know are going to unfold across the next few months, like with going to America and a series that we know exactly what we're going to go and film. Well, we really don't all know, but we all know bits of what we're going to film. But it's like we always are working on things weeks, if not months, out there. So there's always that kind of.
I mean, we've got to go, like the fact that people are watching. We've got to literally give them some sort of value and a little bit of information on what we're doing. We're going to the US, and we're basically individually planning a part of the trip each. Well, so with no idea what the other guys have done.
And this is not something new. We've done this as a group of mates.
This was, what we do with our school mates. We call it Mystery Weekend.
Which then prompted the Mystery Nights Out.
Yeah,
which we did.
And now
series.
We're using it to make videos. So we're planning mystery vacations each.
You know those Mystery Nights Out? So last week, I'm trying to put a date on it. Doesn't matter. Last week, I think it was last Tuesday.
Like you said,
he's out every night.
I lose track. One of the nights last week.
Which night out would it have been?
Oh,
I can count them on one hand.
No, sorry. It was Friday. Last Friday. Just 3 days ago.
Still doesn't matter.
Just 3 days ago.
Nobody cares.
I was sat in the theatre watching a show, and
that could have literally been any night. I understand why that was difficult.
The group of people next to us, to the right of us, and the two girls.
More detail.
I'm picturing it.
So specific.
And she leaned over and she said, "Hi, I just want to say hi. I love the show and what you do, and I love theatre ever since your first Mystery Night Out." She's been to see Showstoppers so many times as a result of that video. Still loves theatre, still goes to more. And then there we were sat watching Next to Normal, which is the best thing I've seen this year. Just a little plug. Go and see it. You should.
Are you on commission for all of the shows in the West End?
No, just one I've seen.
Ebba's Ticks. Well, you should start your own company, mate. Yeah, Ebba's Ticks.
Ebba's Ticks and Ebba's Flops.
But yeah, those Mystery Night Outs. Big nights in, Mystery Nights Out.
Yeah, that's the one. But now we're doing a mystery vacation.
Mystery vacation each. So I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to have my part of the trip, but I also can't wait to worry about what you've got planned for me on yours. It's going to be great.
It's basically come dine with me for holidays, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be bad. But then we come back from America, and then a whole load of other stuff kicks off as well.
Yeah, actually, so because we were talking about, as I was giving an example of the community, but I guess it's because it's fresh in my mind. Why don't we talk a little bit about, are we allowed to talk about this now? Squads?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
As of 3 days ago, it's live.
Great, cool. But I don't know how far we want to go with what we planned, because I don't know exactly where we want it to go yet. But yeah, let's tell these guys about that.
Well, if you last week, specifically Wednesday, I think it was about 4:28 p.m.
Yeah, I had two girls next to me.
Did you?
Yeah,
Come on.
no.
No, we sent out an email. We did a social post and basically said that we want to get to know you a little bit better so that you can get to know us a little bit better, so that we can find ways to make what we do at Sorted better for you. Because if we're not building them for you, then who are we building them for? I think is probably the best way of putting that.
Yeah.
And it was, if we can get to know you a little bit better, then we can work out the kind of projects that we should be spending our time on, that we can bring people like you on board with us so that we can make a bigger impact. And I think that's one of the big things for us at the moment is impact.
Because the last time we all sat down like this and we went, purpose kind of came up as at the end of that conversation. And I think so many comments kind of resonated with a lot of people of going, it's nice to see that we are fighting for something. We just don't necessarily always have the right answers of how to bring change. That's why we need the community involved in what we do. So yeah, that survey is kind of the first chance we get an idea of what people are into and the sort of things they care about, and the things that the topics that we should be taking on to challenge.
But also, like, it came off the back of those types of things, and we're like, how do we give more of an experience to the community? That's where it started, but then sort of pivoted slightly towards, well, actually, like, we do care about very specific things, and we have those mission statements, as you mentioned earlier, Ebbers. And it's like, for little fellas in London doing some food on YouTube, you're not going to be able to change much. But then you take into consideration the huge amount of audience watching, but also not only the volume, but how much they care. And like we've always said, the comment section underneath our videos and the community are the most positive.
It's an anomaly.
It is it's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not just numbers, but it's actually the type of community we've built.
The amount of knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the experts and like the chefs who choose to watch us for whatever reason, but also so many different people who are experts in their own fields. You're then like, well, actually, there is power in numbers here, and if we could harness, that in terms of big numbers in and around some of the things that we do daily, whether it be creating content or whether it be able to actually make change in the food world, which we know is full of contradictions. How do we do that? And getting to know people a little bit more, and this squads thing that we're putting together, and the sort of I guess they're surveys, aren't they? I don't want to call it a survey.
We called it a quiz.
It is a quiz, but it's like, let us understand where you're at, you understand where we're at, and then you're basically going, right, wouldn't this group of people, us included, be able to take on something really cool or really creative and actually succeed as a group in doing something really awesome? And that could just be planning the next live show, but it could also be, I don't know, eradicating plastic off of the supermarket shelves.
But I think the great thing about it is we can work either as a big group, or we can find smaller groups of people who care about specific things. If there are people that don't care about plastic being on the supermarket shelves, well, let's not work with you.
Yeah, help us plan our live show.
That's fine. Come and work with us over here and do this bit. And I think it's really nice that we can just find a groups of passionate people in different areas and go, right, let's see what we can do and what difference we can actually make.
And I think what's particularly good about it is it feels very new because we've kind of labelled it, but it's organic and it's what we've always been doing. Like Wonder Bag, and then the community raised loads of money, or like I mentioned, the Beat Charity, and you've got a whole bunch of people who are talking about the values of important brand ambassadorial work, and then the slow motion, which is like, let's let's represent the things we genuinely believe in and work with a hugely sustainable distillery to make an awesome product. Like, we've always been doing it. They were just always a bit sporadic.
Yeah.
If this is interesting then to you, then there's a link downstairs that you can see more information on our website. You can do the survey quiz thing as well. But ideally,
We don't wear trousers.
help
in it.
us, help you, so we can help each other.
Oh, Barry,
Oh,
you just
wow.
made it wet.
Oh, I'm not.
Now we're floppy and
Not-
wet. But
I'm
all with a good.
All with positive change in mind.
I'm not floppy anymore.
Wow, well done, Baz. That was stirring.
Do we have another question?
Yeah. If you could relive any day, any one day from Sorted,
What a
Sorted.
great question.
if you could relive any one Sorted day, what day would it be?
Oh, right. This is going to take a moment.
There are so many, but I still the one that I occasionally watch back and it still puts a shiver down my spine and gives me goosebumps. It was the Indian wedding that we catered. And the 24 hours or 36 hours that led up to it, and then actually being invited to that special day. I mean, just incredible.
What I love is that you
That was mad.
You described that in full YouTube thumbnail title glory by saying that we catered it. We provided some Burfy.
We took some wedding favours, but we took a lot of
Yeah,
them.
no. I love
a
it.
thousand Burfy
We are on the
to a
same
wedding.
wavelength.
We're going to have to link to so many things in the description box.
Yeah, do
because
it.
I imagine there's a big bunch of people that haven't seen that video. It was part of a sponsored project.
I know
because-
who, and they said, I mean, when they got involved, and we were like, okay, well, we want to do nice things with the community as part of this project, sorry. And then they're like, okay, we're like, so we're going to organise a trip for someone's birthday, like organise a big event for someone's birthday in San Francisco. We're going to be we would like to be a part of someone's wedding. And they were just like, what are you doing, guys? We just want you to go around shopping with Android Pay. And we're like, no. Let's do something ridiculous and really cool. And I still can't believe we ended up, going to Darshan Pali's wedding.
It was unbelievable.
It was so good, wasn't it? It was brilliant. The music. Oh.
We got shouted out in the best man speech.
I know. The worst thing was, right, they properly stitched us up because we went, didn't we go to like Wembley?
Yeah.
To get fitted out, and they were like, "Are you
Proper Indian
like, let's
dress.
get you in proper Indian dress." Didn't realise that a large part of the Indian celebrations had already taken part. So when we turned up to their wedding, everyone was in like shirt, ties, and dresses.
We're the only
and
white
we were
boys
the only ones
there
in
in
traditional
that.
dress.
And if it wasn't the fact that it was the groom and best man who took us, I'd have thought we'd have done a faux pas. But actually, they just stitched us up.
It's so good.
The my worst memory of that day, though, that I wouldn't want to relive, is the blood coming out of Ebba's foot.
Well, when you dance as heavily as I do,
Yeah.
I hadn't worn those new shoes in.
You danced yourself a mischief.
I had a great time.
It's so good. You on the shoulders and like just dancing. Oh, so good.
And again, I think it epitomises what we always say, which is the relationship we have with our community and the trust that they were prepared to trust us to come to their big day. And like they put on a. We had the same spread, the same like a table. They were so
Mm.
generous, but they trusted us to come and do our thing there.
How did we build the heart made of wood? The sculpt, like the sculpture.
It was
did
a flat,
that here,
it was a
didn't
flat
we?
back
We
thing
did
that we
that
then
here.
painted.
Yeah, we did it here.
We did it here.
We
Late at
made
night.
everything.
We made
Like the
everything.
48 hours before,
God, we
you
did.
both were
We did.
in the kitchen making the burfie.
One
Baz
vat
and
at a
I
time.
were making that heart thing.
Yeah.
And painting it.
Mm-hmm.
When
And-
we got the traditional dress,
Yeah.
had to hire a van.
Like we were here.
Late, we slept here, didn't we?
We slept here. Yeah. Still making everything. Like that is genuinely what happened. Like we slept here and then we got up early and then took it down to the venue. Making, what was it, like thousands?
A thousand pieces of
burfy. 3 different flavours or something?
Which is a fun.
Cush's recipe as well, wasn't it?
It's a fun number for a title of a video, but then you realise how many 1,000 actually is, and how many batches you have to do.
That was, I tell you what, that video is one of the things we've talked about previously. Is sometimes you do something to film it, and you film yourself doing something. Other times you do something and then you film it.
Yeah.
And that was definitely
One of those.
It's a really confusing way of explaining that, but
No, I got it.
That was, we actually did something for real. and we documented it.
Yeah.
And they're the bits that I think have the most meaning for me when we do them. Like, I don't want to turn up somewhere with a camera and do something just for camera. There's no fun in that, really. It's let's do something that actually is going to make a proper difference, or be really entertaining, or be really impactful, and then document that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great shout.
I've been racking my brains on my favourite moment, and I think for me, it's a moment that we're so lucky in what we do, that we're working with each other, and like we're involved in friends, family. It's trying to work out for me. You know, at our weddings, when there's a moment you look around and you go, how are all these people all together having a lovely time? This is really weird.
Yeah.
And I would say my favourite video would be my wedding.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a bit obvious.
Lied to me on that day as well. Told me there was a fully working kitchen. You wanted a free wedding cake.
Yeah.
You're like, let's make it into a fridge cam, because then I won't have to buy one. And I was like, okay, I don't mind doing that, but like,
he's still bitter.
I am bitter, because that was the most stressful day of my life, I think.
But I think, like my wedding, my family were there, my best mates were there, the community was there,
and the next heir to the throne.
Everybody in the team was there, and there happened to be a prince there. But it was kind of that Prince William video. I think it's so hard. It wasn't for me. It wasn't about making a video. For somehow we managed to create it where we all got to enjoy that moment.
Yeah.
A physical space where we had everyone eating great food, having a drink at Hive Brewery, and celebrating one really positive thing.
So that was the one that initially came to my mind. But weirdly, it wasn't the whole day. For me, the most special moment of that was actually when we were in the van with him, and the cameras weren't there because they'd gone off to go and get you and everyone else that was within the community to start the surprise.
What happened when the cameras weren't rolling?
Kush was unbelievable in terms of looking after him.
They were such good mates by the end of it. He was like, bye Kush, bye Kush. Like, and we're like,
only name he remembered, Kush. Yeah. But Kush really looked after him, made sure he wasn't too hot, bottles of water, like keeping him really, really happy. And then we just started having a chat, and I was like, so that's my daughter, that's Evie. She was actually really hoping that Prince George might be with you today. She knows that he comes with you on a fair few of these things. And he went, and he turned into a dad. In that split second, he turned into a dad and was talking about the fact that it was a really busy week, and that
it was exam time,
Prince George was doing exams, and so he was quite stressed, and they've been doing revision in the evenings and that kind of thing. And for like 5 minutes of conversation, you weren't talking to the world's like most famous man. You were talking to a dad about normal things.
I had a really similar moment, because like it is amazing how when planning something like that, there are so many different people involved who have to, you know, take into consideration his safety and the planning and making sure it's smooth and it's not an arduous task, because he's literally just going from one thing to another to another to another to another. And so they were like, right, we need to have a designated area for him to come and arrive and just, you know, have a sit down after, you know, literally just getting here, and a bottle of water and stuff. And that's where you can mic him up and things like that. But, you know, because he's literally just come in, it's just one person. So I went to give him his mic. I mean, actually, in all fairness, as soon as he turned up, he just was like, yeah, fine, I'll come and meet everyone straight away. Like, walked straight through and then talk to us all, didn't he? Like, straight away. So didn't even need that breather that someone had decided he may need. But anyway, yeah, so it was so weird. Like, round the corner there, I was like, I've got to go and put his microphone.
I love the fact you also labelled up HRN.
Yeah. And HRH.
It's just his writing.
Yeah, it was just banter, you know. It was just an icebreaker. But I went round, and then suddenly it hit me, and I was like, I'm just here. It's just us. There's nothing. No one's watching. Like, and I just got
I
really.
Could do anything.
That's what
You kiss a prince and see if it turns into a frog.
who are they going to believe?
It's true. Let's get out of here, Willie. Let's leave this all behind. But as I was putting his microphone on, I was for, well, obvious reasons, but I was shaking. I shake anyway. But I was like, I was nervous, and then stupidly, flow of consciousness just went, sorry, I just like, this is just really weird. I still getting my head around it, and he was just like, I'm still getting my head around it. It's still weird for me sometimes. And I was like, oh, you're just...
we're just a YouTube channel. Get over yourself.
But, you know, and it's just... I can't speak more highly of just how, like you said, when everything was off,
Professional,
and no one was really
but normal.
watching.
Yeah.
No one, like literally, no one was watching. He was just really nice and just cool and made you feel at ease.
I wish I could relive that day so that I didn't have the stress and the nervousness beforehand.
Having known
Before
what
he
it was
turned up.
like-
Exactly.
what it was going to be like
Yeah.
afterwards. That's
Because there was so much,
true.
like you said, there was so much planning and organisation and work that had gone into get there. There were so many moving parts.
We had a couple of police officers turn up and check this top floor through the window for sniper risks. Like that
Yeah.
that is mad, isn't it?
But do you know what? On my walk here on the studio to the studio that morning, I hadn't slept the night before. I was so like stressed about it all, and I caught myself because at that moment in my head I just went, I just need to get the next couple of hours out of the way, and then we'll be able to like enjoy it afterwards, like enjoy the thought back of it. And I caught myself. I went, get over yourself. Like, what are you talking about? This is going to be an amazing day, and it might not all go completely according to plan, but go with it, because when else are you going to get to do
it
it?
did go to plan. That was because of all the planning, but
That's such a good that's something that I've said before, but like I've really struggled with is the destination. Get to the destination and then you can enjoy it and forget everything that happens. Just get it done quickly, or just get through it. And when you reach the destinations, it's underwhelming. Whereas actually, enjoy the journey regardless of what happens, and just look at it far more positively and just go like, this is what it is. Like I saw one of those classic like here's a phrase that will change everything on Instagram, but it's like, these are the good days. And I'd say that to myself all the time whenever I feel myself getting a bit stressed out, or like, oh man, we've got to get this done, and let's just get to the end of it. No, these are the good days. Like, we're healthy, we're happy, we're living a dream doing all of this. These are the good days, because you never know when that might change in the future. And if you haven't enjoyed these, then what a waste.
Yeah. Especially if you quit.
That's why I'm saying these are the good days, because I'm going to leave next week. And
by the way, my mystery weekend in
my
the US
leaving
is
party.
bye.
I'm staying in New Mexico.
So earlier we talked about ideas that got shot down, and I feel like this question leads into that a little bit. Where did the foodgasm question in our podcasts come from?
An idea
that got shot down.
No.
An idea?
No. It ends. No.
No.
So start at the beginning. Foodgasm was a term that we kind of envisaged around a combination of, I don't know, obviously orgasm and your love of food. What's that moment? A moment of climax you could have in food. And what's the situation?
Hearing you say that.
I know. When you write it, when you say it out, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's basically what could we create to give you the best chance of having a foodgasm? So we were developing an idea for a TV show that we were pitching to everyone. The idea of we're going to go on a whole journey. We're going to find a person, almost like Queer Eye style, find a person who likes their food but doesn't know if they necessarily love it.
Who needs
okay,
the conversion moment where I love it. This is amazing.
What journey can we go on, and how could we take it on a journey where in the last few moments, again, what temperature does their body have to be at? How exhausted do they need to be? What activities are they about to do or have done? And therefore, what flavors or experiences can we give them so they can experience the foodgasm? Was the thought behind it. And we created a couple of treatments off the back of it. We took it to a fair few people.
We hate the name, so no.
Yeah, one said yes, but it fell apart in the contract.
What was really annoying was from an idea perspective, everyone really, really liked it. Yeah. It was when we mentioned that it would involve a lot of travel to get the ingredients or the experience completely correct. That this probably can't be a studio-based, confined thing.
If you're going to do it properly.
Yeah, and everyone went, and whose budget would you be doing that with? And we're like, ta-da.
Well, we don't have any money.
Do you remember, was I with you in the meeting where we were talking to this company who said, we really like it, but it's not big enough. we've got lots of A-list celebrities that we would like to get into this.
Yeah, could you give The Rock a foodgasm?
Yeah, that was it. It was The Rock. Yeah.
It was The Rock. Like, okay, what would it be?
Yeah.
So we started going to some bonkers ideas, but again, it didn't go anywhere.
But the failure of that led to Under the Cloche, which was our way of doing something similar by proxy, which was choose a celebrity, learn about them, challenge a chef and a normal to cook up something.
Step up to the plate.
Sorry, what did I call it?
This
Under
thing.
the Cloche.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, step up to the plate. Yeah, it's all the same nonsense, isn't it? Yeah, and that's where that sort of it was like. Well, we can't do the TV show, but there's something interesting in doing that. And again, another sort of evolution of that is the dream menu, which is even less specific by 13 random questions, but can we create those really amazing food moments just around plates of food?
That's the place that I think like, TV serves us is we'd only do TV if it helps us, or say TV, like streaming services, if it gave us a new budget to do something completely different, something completely ridiculous, but grounded in the same thing that we already have here.
But that's what's really, I mean, legitimately, if everybody watching this now who is watching it on a TV hit the like button, this would be the most liked video that we've ever put out. Because, and that's the thing, as we talk about the TV world, a third of you guys watch us on smart TVs anyway, because the YouTube app is there and it exists. So people with like TV habits, we talk about the TV world, it's more the TV industry that's very different to the way we do it. The fact that people consume this on TVs is just a reality.
It would be great though to reinvent like food programming. Like how do we get that to more people? Because I'd love that.
It's been food shows have been on a journey, and I don't know where they are now.
All the best food shows are on YouTube.
Yeah,
that genuinely.
Because
nothing else has changed. Nothing else has changed.
Except for the one on ITV last Saturday morning where I cooked a National Trust property with 80 Harriets. Kaboom!
That was, now I come to think of it, that was a standout piece of content.
You haven't even seen it yet.
All I know is we've got a lovely outdoor Grillo kitchen lent to us off the back of you doing that.
Thank you very much to the founders at Grillo, who share our similar values of just making fun food outside.
You're always working.
Yeah, Emma's had a day off, mate. How many times do I have to say it?
Relentless.
We're going to Utah. Turn it off.
No, turn it on. Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you doing your sincere poker face?
No, I'm not doing my sincere poker face.
You know what's coming, and I don't like it.
Where do you see us in 10 years?
Is this an interview? Because I've already had that and I got the job and I'm going.
10 years ago.
It does up there with like, what crisp flavour would you be if you could like...
If you were a colour of crayon, what would you be and why?
The landscape of... Like, we started this on YouTube because that's kind of... It was obvious to us and it helped us build this amazing community.
And it was free.
We've grown with YouTube to the point now that I still, even though we are so many other things, I'd still say we are primarily a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'd like to say in 10 years' time that the community's almost taken over us to a degree. Like the show, the brand should belong to them, and it then becomes whatever they want it to be, based on whichever way they want to take it. The show will always be a vehicle to talk about it. But hopefully with the things that we could do in the next 10 years, the change that we could bring...
That would be great,
could be
actually.
anything.
I completely agree. Like just a collection of a group of people doing important... Isn't it weird that we've all got a little bit older now and we're all like, oh, I need some purpose. Do you know what I mean? But then, we've got the perfect pop,
I think it's when you get a taster of that purpose, of little things we have done. You're like, these
are the things that
this is why
matter,
we mess around on the internet, because we can do things like this. How do we do more of that?
Yeah, actually, the only thing that matters is doing, good stuff if you've been given the opportunity. So,
but how one of the things I'm most proud of is like of us as a friendship group is that when we go on a night out, we know that us and our extended group of friends, we can like bring the joy. We can walk into an Irish diddly bar and we can have everybody dancing by the end of the night. you want people to look forward to our presence, but ideally you want people to look forward to the community's presence. You want to go, who has sorted food? Oh, that's that food community that are amazing. They do these incredible things. People need to look forward to working with us all.
Yeah.
I think sorted food needs to have a presence out there in the foodie world that's making an impact that people just want to be a part of.
And do you think? Because I feel like we've always seen like the entertaining side of what we do, whether it's the silly music videos or us dressing up in costumes whilst we do battles and things like that. Like the really, really fun side, it feels to me like that's a really easy access point for people to get involved, because it's just us taking the mickey out of ourselves, essentially, which we don't care about. We do it regardless.
Yeah.
But like, if that's a really easy way for people to get involved, and then they find their way to the more meaningful stuff that is there and has the purpose that sits behind it. But yeah, I wonder whether that's the reason to do all of the floppy stuff.
Yeah, but that's just what we are. Like, that's the core of what we've always done. Don't take it too seriously. Try and learn something along the way, and try and put it in a way that people will enjoy and be entertained by, and also learn in the best, to the best of our ability. The fact that using that to do things that can make a difference, or just make the most of, the amazing people who are watching and following and partaking.
And that will always have to
do
be
something
digital.
with them. Like, let's do something as a group. Like, we have such a great time, the four of us. Just
Get everyone,
widen the bubble.
Yeah, we need to work out a way of metaphorically, like, just knocking these walls down and getting to more, like, just involving more people, or physically.
It will always be a digital opportunity, because we have a global audience, and it's always amazing when we do global street foods and you look at the comments, and it doesn't matter where in the world we lift a cloche and do food from, there are comments that say I'm from there, and like that's my home. And we travel the world, it doesn't matter where we go, from the most remote town somewhere to other big cities, we'll have people come up to us and say, love what you do, you've inspired us to cook, and by the way, have you seen what I cooked the other week, and show us a photo.
And it'll always be better than
so
what we've done.
it'll always have to be a digital community, but also food is something that is quite nice to taste.
Real sensory
it would be amazing if in 10 years time the sorted pub isn't something we have to fictionally build with some old lady's furniture, but actually it could be a real thing, or a physical space, but it's always going to be mostly digital. It's going to have to be.
Yeah, I mean, flipping the question on its head, 10 years ago, would you have seen where we are today? Absolutely not. Like,
No.
if you think about all of the stuff
So
that...
what was 10 years? So 10 years ago, we were in a different studio.
Yeah, 2014. We were in
We
a
were
different
doing
studio.
almost daily recipe videos. They're all how-to.
Have we been here for 10 years?
Nine.
Nearly, yeah.
We hadn't done that massive YouTube campaign. All of
That was
the...
just starting, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
We
all of the...
just started Big Night In.
Yeah. We did a 3-month tour across the US
Oh, yeah.
on the Today Show.
It does feel like these, like, where we are now, we're moving into the next chapter in terms of how we've been working more and more with everybody at home watching. It feels more collaborative now than it ever has been. It feels like the show's been the best it's ever been. It's just trying to work out what's next. And, like, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how it, over the next 6 months, I think it'll be really interesting.
There's more potential than there ever has been to do something amazing, and I think we're probably about to realise some of that. Well, that's what we're working towards anyway, is realising some of that potential and unlocking it. So it feels like we're on the cusp of being able to unlock something really, really incredible.
And I do think that's also because that's our world, but it also comes at an amazing time when, maybe amazing is the wrong word, but a very poignant time when the world of food is in a less amazing place. Yes, there's so many new stuff and new innovations and new startups and really cool forward steps, but it's also quite a broken system for so many reasons we've talked about on many of the podcasts and many of the discussions. Like, it's not great, and I think a combination of a really powerful community wanting to do good things and a system that's fragile, it's almost like these worlds are colliding. It's perfect time. It's not a perfect time because it's a weird time, and we're in a quite arguably odd time when it comes to food. But I think there's an opportunity where Sorted, the wider group, can do something quite magical.
Now we're coming to the end of this podcast. I mean, for this episode, and probably this series. Can we talk about what we're going to do with this podcast moving forward as well?
Because we don't know.
Because we're going off to America like in 2 days' time, and we haven't got any more plans to shoot in it yet.
No.
So
I think we made the decision to package this up because we always said, let's do this. We'll see how it lands and see if people enjoy them. It also gives an opportunity to put them on the audio platforms, which is a different way that the audience can sort of, I don't want to say consume our content because that sounds horrible, but do you know what I mean? Like they
digest,
like on the commute,
taste,
and things like that through audio. And I think that we've done that, and we had an idea, and we tested it, and we've had some of the conversations with some of the guests we've had have been
remarkable,
unbelievable. And you know, I guess the whole purpose of doing this was to be able to have longer, more in-depth conversations, even just between the four of us, that give our audience unedited, like long-form discussions and getting to know us even more through, you know, all of this style of the way that we're doing things in a way that we haven't put out anywhere else. And I think we've done that, and I think it's been amazing. And I think there's been some really, really interesting successes along the way as well, and that we just going to reflect on what to do next and what to do with the next batch of these, where they go, what we do, and like in the true spirit of everything that we've been talking about, like get in the comments, everyone watching and listening, and let us know where would you like to see these go. I think we're genuinely at a point where we've kind of got an hour body of work that we can also move forward, but you know, we started running, now we're running. Tell us, what direction should we run in?
I can't run for that long. Honestly, I'll get out of breath.
Literally no more room on our specials board anyway, so we've got to take stock and work out what's next.
Yeah, but I think it's quite nice not being able to say, you know, we're just going to crack on with doing a load of more and they're coming out in a couple of weeks. Yeah. We want to get this right, and until we listen to what the audience have to say in summary and each other, we can't draw those conclusions and improve things moving forward.
Well, I think it's been a successful podcast. We've got a title somewhere. We mentioned Floppy and Willy in one podcast.
And Prince Willy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But that's the subtitle joke.
I feel like I'm sat with William Hanson.